осознал то, что в моей группе все плохо, эскейпов не было, и поэтому немного изменил, так сказать, характеристики персонажей, чтобы хоть у одного была возможность побега. Ну ладно, погнали.
Get yourself in check, boy. I won't have you running off like Millicent and Tully. You'll just end up...
The older-looking Magister notices your presence. He wipes his grubby hands downward across his greaves, as if to wipe away the...
Court elf. What word do you bring?
His face goes pale, and his eyes open wide. The Magister that...
The Void Woken come.
Hush, Fader. You may pass, traveller. Dare say you'll be aching. Be quick, mind.
He nods his head in the direction of the bridge.
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
Are you sure?
The silent monk, like every other, has nothing...
Maybe dark to come back. As long as there's no sword.
Last time I was here, I summoned my wolf right in the tavern. All hell broke loose. Good times. Good times. Wonder if they'll remember me.
As the Magister's eyes alight upon you, they widen until they are practically bulging out of their sockets. One...
Ifan Ben Mez does our live and breathe. I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy. Who could forget? Best night's business the healer had in months. Now, come on. Back into a cage where you belong. Your little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mez.
She considers your offer.
How much? So much. You have to be hiding something, and I'm sure... Now, come on. Back into... Your little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mez.
The Magister grabs the coin and...
Get out of here. And...
Don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
My word, but a pretty have at it. Got yourself situated.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
Kind
Much business today.
People don't want to leave town. Can't
Well,
they?
well and good for you with your
There's no
rations.
safety in
We've
solitude.
got to take what we can get.
Keep
Well,
talking to
keep
us and
steady.
you'll end up eating sawdust
People
on
still
the
need
cell floor.
portions. They'll be by soon enough. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yep. Back for a return visit, are you? Yep.
Good day to you.
A sturdy elf. A glance at the dog's miserable...
Thank you. What am I, dog's doctor? Dog's sick. Go on, kiss Putty for a penny. You can...
Are usually buy from Ovis over there.
The dog lies there quietly.
What are you looking at? I'm sick here. Get low. Got a pain in the neck. Got a bad pain in...
It flinches. A low, threatening growl builds within its throat. Under the collar, you find the sharpened points of metal rivets, gouging the poor dog's skin. The dog bares its teeth. The dog gives you a long, hard stare, but does not. The dog goes to bite your hand, and then...
Hey, I feel okay. Thanks, man. Think I'll wander up. Master did. Huh? Wait a minute. Master hurted.
He turns to his
You bad man, you.
There's a lot of call for the junk
How
you
you
sell,
holding
then.
up?
Penny for a grieving beggar whose dog ran away. God damn it. That was my livelihood. Penny for a grieving beggar? I reckon I'm owed it here. No. You wouldn't do that, would you? Oh, yes. You would do that, wouldn't you? I couldn't prevail upon you to change your mind, could I?
Much business today.
People don't want to leave town. Can't blame them.
Reluctantly, he throws you...
That's your luck.
Well, keep steady. People still need potions. Be by soon enough.
Tell me, have you heard any news?
Keep to yourself, Liz. You're a delicate one, ain't you?
Nice weather.
Well, hello, stranger.
You look down at the cart and see fish with flaking scales.
It's free to fair travels, friend.
To think that lunatic Siva's... Damn it. Magister...
War's a brewing, my friend, at special prices for you. War is hell, my friend, but it's very good for business. Good luck to you.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Queen Justinia executes 24 noblemen for insubordination!
God knows what stuck those beasts.
Cold steel it is, then.
Smells worse.
You
over
needing
here.
supplies? Anything more?
An egg dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
I don't come visit your ton. Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Until later, then.
You, stranger! What are you doing here?
Good. Tell me. Have you seen a man around here? Grey beard, grey cloak, a look of madness in his eyes.
The Magister's eyes narrow.
It's vital that you report anything unusual. We must know.
He arrived in Driftwood some days ago, dressed as a tinkerer. He bought and sold a few knickknacks. But as soon as he knew we were onto him, he ran. We think, now, beyond...
This fish is ugly. Look at you.
The little boy looks at you.
And got you a tail. Don't be rude, Ben. He's a lizard. We're waiting for our friend. He went swimming all the way to Fort Joy. That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back. Cool. How did you know that? Lizard, have you seen our friend?
Tell them the truth about Joe.
What they don't know can't hurt them. Don't tell them.
The horror grows on their little faces.
No, that's a horrible thing to say.
She bursts into tears. then looks from you to her and back. After a moment, the crying subsides.
So where's Joe? It's okay to say you don't know.
I think we should go home.
Bye-bye, lizard.
They skip away, still children, but now somehow...
I hope Joe doesn't smell when he comes back.
There's no safety in solitude. Well, keep steady. People still need potions. Be by soon enough.
Go on, you mute sacks of the Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with...
The Magister stops barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
I'm going nowhere right at this moment. Nowhere since something crossed my... Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast up respect?
He licks his lips.
See, I'd like to string you up too, rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss. Oh, no, 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 no. That won't do at all. Innocence is a mark. I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need... There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelled. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn... Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. But they do. Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule. A beast of burden. I've need of a rat catcher. Of course. I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will...
Stay behind? But I've my orders.
Like I said, and with that I must be off. No hard feelings about the death. How very... One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in... Adieu and good luck. The Lord...
Time has come, my stitch-lipped lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes. None the worse for wear, apparently.
You! The supposed source hunter! I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't... A man of stature wouldn't be moored on a dock with no one but dead fish for company. But here I am and here you are. Now answer me. Did you meet with a Magister caravan on your way into town? The hour by the bishop's bones, you saw it? Now, out with it, man! What happened? Void woken. That means source was used. Which means some third party Raymond, that old goat. Always suspecting there's more to the Driftwood Dwarves than meets the eye. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ships sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've... Rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. There's a local... It may be interesting to have a word with him. Find out what he's up to. But where I really want you to ferret around is It's wild territory. Remote and hostile. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working in behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure. And hard workers, too. Half of them are their Queen's spy. You know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist in that case. Go forth.
If there's no work for an honest dwarf like myself, the likes...
Divine order to march against the ancient and latest news! Fred, many a latest, my friend. The war, the bishop, the queen. Ain't looking too good for them lizards. Word is, the divine... You remember what happened to the elves, don't you? Ain't no one left standing when you treat him to death, Frog. Your luck 7 save us. Stabbed in the back he was, by them vile... Kill them all, I say. Do 'em like Magister Raymond did old Lady Seaver. I mean, they doomed us all, didn't they? The son of the divine is dead. Jolly Justinia, Queen of the Dwarf. Here's 20 or so noble gentlemen. No one knows what they did wrong, if anything, and she has them stripped and whipped all the... You ask me, and I say she's mad as a mink with its...
They've got that hellacious general in charge. What do they call her? The Axe?
Blessings of the divine upon you, good sir. My husband and I were just sitting down for a picnic under the sun. Wonderful. Come, sit. There you go, all cozy. So tell me, are you heading to Arks like we are? Nicholas and I wouldn't miss Lucian's Day for the world. That's so lovely to hear. The more pills, so come, let us break bread and strengthen ourselves.
You eat, drink, and have a good time of it with Glory and her husband.
Where is it? Where is it? Sir, please.
She looks up at you in surprise. Her great...
You'd help me.
Tears star her eyelashes, and she
I know. What a crybaby the pouch. I really must find it back, or my master will flay me alive. It could be I'm a servant to Magister Raymond. He bade me take the coins to purchase supplies for his journey.
She tilts her head back and blinks.
I'd never do such a thing. Never. Gods, you're so terribly kind, but I couldn't accept such lavish charity. I don't know what to say.
She accepts the coins.
You don't know what this means to me. Thank you.
Magister's dropping left and right.
24 noblemen for insubordination!
Startled, the guard...
You shouldn't surprise me like that. Oh, I could have sliced...
Rustling leaves no longer remind me of autumn. A songbird's call. Have you ever faced a void walking? Nonsense. You best abandon those fables.
Order to march against the ancient empire!
Mary Lane.
Hackles raised, the dog barks at the sand built up beneath the...
You're nice, and I'm a good dog. Yes, I am. There's something not right, and that's wrong. It's under the house thing there, and it's bad. I can smell it. You be careful now. What's under there?
I don't care if you tear this place apart plank by plank. We will find him.
You can't just charge in here and ransack my business.
You've been warned, Barnes. Now, get back.
The Magister turns and is up...
You, tell me. Have you seen a man acting suspiciously near here? Grey cloak, grey beard? Watch your tongue. I'm after a wanted man, a tinkerer, but I could still find time to haul you into a cell. Well, if you do see anything out of place, that lunatic is not going to take another Magister. It'll be a pleasure to watch Magister Raymond purge him. I meant nothing. It's a Magister. Now, be on your damn way. I have...
Bugger off, I'm busy.
Grisha's still the favourite.
The dwarf peers at an
Fascinating. Most Oh, my. I mean, no. What do you want?
With a small grin, the dwarf glances between you and his handiwork.
Indeed I am. They can close our schools, but they can't take away what I've been taught. Besides, there's still so much to learn. Times are hard. There's not much gold to be made in scholarly pursuits. Yes, as it happens, I need to see the effects of eating these fish firsthand, if you understand me. Wonderful. Now, there's 3 samples that I...
The fish instantly churns your insides. You double over in pain. A sudden vivid sensation of floating in darkness assails you. There's something... The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view, peering at you with fascination.
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across the dwarf's boots. He doesn't...
I see. Well, I'm sure it was nothing but a side effect of the... Speaking of which, I've learned a great deal from observing you. I owe you a great debt.
The dwarf puffs up his chest and
The fish is indeed malignant. Lizards are affected by it in the same manner as other species. Don't you see? If all species are affected the same, then one cure will save them all as well. Now for your reward. The fish you ate is known as yellow ridgeback. Quite a cunning breed, often used in concoctions to increase Who is to say how such a creature might alter an alertness mix? Seek out somewhere that peddles alertness herb mixes, adding these unique ridgebacks. So, now my work must continue.
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the magic...
Oh, there. Now, of course, if I find you're hiding him from me, I'll cut off bits that won't...
The dwarf reaches into a barrel and pulls out a fish. The innards fall to the floor, landing in a pool of dark bile. You'd expect fish to smell, but these reek.
Oh, I forgot your lot still keep slaves. Your empire's rotten as this catch. But the boss has found a buyer for this muck, so maybe there's hope.
Your clap on the back knocks his knife askew, cutting a jagged line through the best of the flesh. He looks at you with disgust as he
Lucky ain't the word I'd use, nor's patient.
The dwarf turns back to his work, slicing and disemboweling fish after fish. Looking at the barrel, you see that someone has scrawled Black House on it in paint. You cast your eyes around to see...
Here, leave them barrels alone. I told you to take a hot...
What? You be needing something from me, lad? Ain't much inclined to rub elbows with lizards, if you catch me drift. Ain't no one been standing together since Lucian died. Ain't been no goodwill among your kind, or mine, or anyone else's. Glad to hear you say it. The day will come we'll overthrow 'em, you mark my words. Until then, I'll practice the art of fugitive. I don't think that's something I should be discussing with strangers. Because I don't intend to end up with me lipstick. No, I shan't be baited. I ain't saying nothing on the topic no more. Godspeed. buggered fine.
The dwarf leans in and begins.
This fella runs along, right? Sweating, panicking. Red's red. Hide in a barrel, you fool, I yelled. Problem is, he's still in there. Been hours. Can't go up.
What in the seven hells is a lizard doing here? Shouldn't you be in your empire, or stretched out on a rock in the sun?
The Magister bristles. For a moment his hand twitches.
I'm looking for someone, fork-tongued. Grey cloak, grey beard, acting suspiciously. Watch your tongue. I'm after a wanted man. Well, if you do see anything up, that lunatic is not going to take another Magister. It'll be a pleasure to watch Magister Raymond purge him. He's wanted in connection with the disappearance. As soon as we asked him about it, he fled. Who knows what he's done with our divine brothers? He was seen with the effects of one of our company. Not only was he behind her disappearance, we chased him to this factory, but lost him on the docks. Now, I have a patrol.
You see a man, well-fed and wealthy, but stress has life. He tries to ignore your presence. Fails.
See here, Scales. I'm very busy. The factory is crawling with Magisters, and our shipments to Arks are held up. Fish. This is a fish factory. I'm shipping fish to Arks. Now, please, a sophisticated Imperial lizard like yourself will surely know that in business, there's a market for everything.
A dark shadow passes across his face.
Sometimes it finds you. That's privileged information. I have An excellent point. Well made. The answer to your question is, unsurprisingly, a man in a house. A man in a house buys all the void-tainted fish I can send him.
That dark shadow crosses his...
Not that I've ever met the man. Not sure I want to, if I'm honest. When you've been in business as long as I have, you learn not to question these things too closely. Now I'll get back to... See so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the Magisters. Then we can get them out.
Take that, sorcerer.
You're dead, Alexander. Alexander, you're dead. You have to stay dead until we say you're...
Here, mister. Alexander doesn't have to stay dead, does it? Hey, are you a lizard? Whoa!
Cool. I think you look weird.
See? Told ya. Take that, sorcerer. Come on.
Turtle Johnny puts an invisible source code.
Take that, sorcerer! No more I hate this game.
The three kids stare at you in awe.
Crap! The sauce collar's broken. I'm free. Have at you, Dad.
For a moment, you watch the children play.
I smell cabbage. There's sauce around
The dog stares at a... An elf in tattered red robes.
So many suspects. So many potential culprits. I need to...
A floorboard creaks beneath your foot.
What are you doing, elf? Trying to get a drop on me? Sneak up and slit my throat? I'm no elf. Don't you call me that.
The elf glares and pulls aside his ragged red clothing. Beneath it, his chest is laced with a series of scars.
You see that, elf? That's Magister flesh. Loyal flesh that's made sacrifices for a true cause. You have more in common with... Seven, preserve me. Are you entire... My own Magister comrades are vanishing from right here, and 3 Magisters vanished so far, all within Driftwood. My comrades believe some tinkerer named Higba is behind it all, but that's what I'm intent on finding out. This tavern is... I have to keep investigating. Keep the pressure up. The culprit will make a mistake eventually if you do that.
A valiant warrior against the void.
Indeed. I'm sure they're watching us very carefully.
You have interrupted my newest masterpiece.
The bard clears his throat and gargles on his own saliva. He then...
Well, never you mind. Every sonnet I compose is a masterpiece. Wait. You might be just the stimulus I... Normally I'd argue with you, but you do have a certain look about you. Very well.
He stares at you for a few
Let's cut to the chase, lizard. Your kind has built an empire on the backs of slaves, reaping the rewards of the innocent's toil. Do you
He smiles a crooked smile and runs...
It isn't just slaves that suffer, though, is it? You eternally seek perfection, though offer no room in the creaking empire machine to the sage or the savant. What say you? This superiority complex, this haughtiness, so cold. Others see you for what you truly are. Monsters. Loveless, heartless, ruthless. You know it to be true.
The bard hems and haws, then bellows his next words to anyone.
To all lovers of verse, I bring glorious news. I have the lizard's noble, graceful carriage.
the poem.
Their social norms.
I doubt a reptile.
Arguing with Matt.
Another sorcerer on the...
Keep your eyes peeled, would you? Ramos the Wanderer promised he'd be here.
He fixes you with a... Then a smile creases his face. A smile...
Greetings, my lord. Looking to ease the pain of a decaying world? You're in the right place. Beers are all...
He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you. A lascivious smile spreads across his...
Let me ask you this. Across the world, who is renowned above all others for their exquisite love-making ability? My dear prince, I'm sure this is true. But I believe one of your kin...
He holds out his hand. The money vanishes into his...
Now, let me ask you this. What upstairs on the second floor? Her name is Zara.
He gives you a mischievous grin, then dips...
Hey, Rudy, Nova.
An elf sways on her chair, her eyes focused on the counter in front of her, where she has 6 glasses in a row. With the nails of 2 fingers, she's pressing red welts into her forearm.
You'll be first to go. Stick to your own kind is my advice. You really don't have to look that far.
What on earth is that noise?
That would be my stomach, my lord.
Oh, forget it.
The bell still rings. Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
She slides one of the drinks towards you. Her head...
And that's...
Her eyes go wide with panic.
The fog came over 'em all. Everyone I know is... Excuse me.
Damn right.
An elf sways on her. She slides one...
And that's... Nothing.
She slides another...
Bottoms up. Cheers to you, me.
Her gaze swivels.
Damien's dull knife. This place is... Another. Ah. Oh. Reckon. Dwarf and an elf is well.
A prim woman in a...
Blessings upon our Lucian, 7 times divine.
The soft lines of her face fold into a warm smile.
I see your mother raised you very well indeed. Rare for an elf. But you've still some way to go yet then. What can I get you in the meantime? You ought to enjoy a little rest while you can. Don't you worry. The Magister will keep you safe while you're here. My boy Niles over in the Joy makes sure of that. And where did you hear that? That disgraced elf who's been loitering outside my establishment since he was... If I were you, I wouldn't pay any heed to the ramp. We've only got amber ale, I'm afraid. Can't spare the potatoes for hard up. Coming right up, darling.
Their social norms I never could disparage. As slaves, their servants often are portrayed. Yet still with food and bed are rightly paid. No weak links allowed within the chain. No caste would ever tolerate.
Damien was kind of cute, though.
Abandoned.
The bell still rings. Do you hear it? Do you hear
It's a
it?
shame, it is.
An absolute shame.
Alexander, slaughtered like a supper lamb.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. Never thought I'd say this. I hope they round up them sorcerers for...
You said it, Hilka.
I'll knock it if I want. What do you want, reptile? Huh. I want another beer and a bowl of stew. Guess that makes me a sinner. Perhaps you can help us settle an argument. Thatcher here is one of my dearest friends.
Thatcher grins hello.
Our mate Boris got posted to Fort Joy for consorting with lizards. And Thatcher here still fancies a turn around the park with Loverick's lizard. I say she'd be sleeping with the enemy.
They look at you expectantly.
I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know.
Thatcher looks victorious. Eden looks and...
You're as bad as she is. Get lost then, you're not...
Eden turns back to her drink. Thatcher smiles.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to
She
Fort
tips
Joy.
you a wink, then turns... Weathered and rugged...
There's bad things in the caves.
He goes back to... She nods an uninterested...
Here for the fight? This is a tavern. People are drinking. Eventually there'll be a fight. You planning on starting one? Well, I look forward to beating the shite out of you then.
Ah, finally. Your colleague over... I'll have a bowl of the house stew, if you please. Oh, pity. I've been trying to get a little... After all I've been through...
He lowers his gaze. Then, look, his lip trembles dramatically.
It's my mentor. My dear mentor. He was... No. Now here I sit. My closest companion gone. Our precious cargo worth more than loot. And the waiter won't even bring me any stew. Ah, then perhaps my luck has changed. Yes, perhaps this awful...
Tell me, how are you with, well, Void Woken?
Ah, terrific news. Then what my mentor, Liam, and I were hauling in We made short work of Liam, may the gods rest his soul. I managed to escape, but my precious cargo was left behind. We'd invested our entire livelihood in those wares. My lucky stars. Now, give me your map. I can't tell you how thorough...
The cook acknowledges you with a graceful little bow.
There's nothing here for you, sister. You should go back out front, where it's safe. There are other elves, ones who aren't working and have time to talk.
The briefest hint of disdain.
Some wouldn't see any luck here. Some would be ashamed to serve those who mock out. Some would. But I must work. Cinnamon, not nutmeg. There's a food shortage in these parts. Fresh meat can be... Now, please, I must return to my work. Sharp knives, boiling liquids. Here, my special stew just for my elven. Now, I really must get...
What's this? I found something. This ring. It bears the Magister's seal. And there's blood on it.
No weak links allowed within the chain. No caste ever tolerate a stain. Abandon love.
Telling you, if you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to be scared of.
Infatuation.
Yeah? You're good with the Magisters caging anyone up that looks...
It's disgusting, that's what it is. I'll knock it if I want, even if I haven't tried it.
Who rings the bell?
This is more...
A weathered woman in a dirty sea captain's tunic babbles breathlessly to herself.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn. And I without my compass. The ship is in the locker, on the bottom, and yet... Can you hear? The bell rings on. Perhaps I am already mad. But I swear I...
She buries her head in her hands.
Make it stop!
Experience of a lifetime, is it?
You've got to pick who you can trust.
It's
She babbles
disgusting,
breathlessly on, barely aware you're there.
You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust. I can see a
I'll knock it
sorcerer
if I
from a
want,
mile away.
even if I haven't tried it.
And you've got to be careful, you know? If I can get Alexander,
You're right about that. Right as rain, he'll go.
Stick to your own kind is my advice. You really don't have to look that far.
The bell rings a warning.
Oh, forget it. disgusting, that's what it is.
Who rings the bell?
I'll knock it if I want, even if I haven't tried it. Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? Then you're an idiot. You've got to pick this trap.
Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm trying.
You can trust me. I can see a sword from a long way. And you can't be too careful.
Weathered and rugged, the man... His eyes open, but he doesn't see you.
The island is ruined and doesn't have a name. Don't go there.
His eyes flick wide open, but he's clearly asleep. His eyes open, but he doesn't see you.
Sawdust and wolves, mother.
His eyes open, but he doesn't... His eyes...
You really don't have to.
A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you.
I'm so glad you've come. Are you here to water my flowers? I've been so lonely since my man went away to fight the coming war. I need someone to take...
She gives you a cool look, then a
Not in the mood for games. Me neither. So what shall we do? Would you like me? All right, darling.
She closes her eyes. She's motionless for a moment, as if listening for music, as she finds the rhythm of the song that only she can hear. But as she sweats, and you realize you hear the music too. An old ballad from the Empire. It floods your body with light, at once boiling hot and freezing cold. And then you feel her hands upon you, and you moving to the rhythm of your heart's desire, two beings in your ecstasy. You feel the edge of the bed against your leg, and suddenly and you realize that you're naked, and so is she.
But my darling kin, why ever not? Oh, my darling, there's no need to fret. Look at you. You're strong and valiant and powerful. I should be paying you.
She kisses your lips, then your forehead, then each cheek. She takes you into her arms, into her heart, into her very being, and it feels like your world explodes in ecstasy. You wake into what still seems to be a dream. The scent of home, the perfume you've always associated with her, the woman you've dreamt of since birth. You blink, and there she really is. Not the person you thought you went to bed with, but she, the Red Princess. Despite a sense of deep belonging, despite the rapture of your bodies so very close together, you dread the possibility even this might be nothing but a mirage. Her only reply is a smile as radiant as 1,000 suns. Her lips part.
Come find me. Come be with me.
Next, a flash of magic.
Yes, I will find you. I will be with you. Ah, the armor set is complete.
As you approach the silken-robed noble, Ifan does a double-take and laughs in recognition.
I know this man, and he's not at all what he seems.
Ifan bounds forward and embraces the man, all effusive greetings. As they part, talking animatedly, the man's beards, they chatter away for some time, using a guttural cant you struggle to understand. At one point, the man says something and looks over at you intently. Ifan waves his hand and laughs. The man hunkers down and seems to be sketching a rough map on the floor, using an apple, some playing. Ifan claps the man on the back and turns.
Well, now we know the way to the sawmill. And we know Roost thinks I'm bringing you there as part of the Godwoken contract. Hear that? Roost's camped out at the sawmill.
You really don't have to look that far.
Doesn't this room... But, of course... Better watch yourself.
Forget it. You can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If I can get Alex...
I'll need to get clever with this lock.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilda.
Lush, somehow. It's as lush as it's always been. Now train your eyes on my treasures, not my person.
Do you hear it? Yes, my lord. The experience of a lifetime, is it? It's disgusting, that's what it is.
It's a shame, it is.
I'll knock it if I want, even if I haven't tried it.
Hilga jabbers excited.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy.
I just don't know. I don't know.
You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard.
It's a shame, it is. An absolute shame.
Idiot.
Good find.
Gossip? Oh, I don't gossip. I just tell it. Poor Alexander. Never thought I'd say this. But I hope they round up.
She pokes her finger in your direction.
And if you're loyal to the Order, you're not.
He looks at you and shakes his...
Just leave me be.
I'll knock it if I want. Even I haven't tried it.
You've got to pick him.
He gives you his mischievous...
I did promise you the experience of a lifetime. Red skin. Are you sure you didn't do anything funny with a wig and a mirror?
You again? I told you to scram once. Don't make me say it with my fists. It's already mad as a bag of cats down there.
Same as I've been doing. I never could disparage.
Come on, damn you. Think.
The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch of her eye. She calmly opens her left eye, then her...
What do you want? Nah, nice quiet spot for a dwarf to get some shut-eye. Cobwebs, I reckon. Maybe some spiders and silverfish, rats. Nothing you want, unless you collect... Wine all you want. I'm staying.
Before you can ask more, the dwarf holds up her hands and...
Useless elf. Might as well have rotted in the death hole. What's even the point?
The cat stares up at you. Its midnight black pupils are too prop...
8 lives already gone. But I'd gladly lose the last if you can throw me a fish. One of those smelly kind. Wouldn't say no. Fills the belly. Oh, but the other ones, so yummy. Yeah, it turns dark when I eat them. It feels so beautiful against my...
The cat looks to the fish, then back to you, and again, and yet again. The fish, then you. Finally, its scarf... He opens his mouth as if to meow, but makes no sound. Then there's a quick snap, and a fish tail hangs... He belches, then pokes the fish with...
Maybe I should stick to the good stuff for a while.
He pokes his nose at your map. leaving a wet.
I think you'll find something interesting there. Found me some goodies during... I'm so...
What do you want? Can't you see I'm busy? Heckish! Is that a joke of some? If it is, it's only a little funny. But you... Oh, you want a list? I've got eggs to lay, grass to tidy, grain to clear, and magister boots to...
Well, ain't you a tall drink at all, Ness?
She fluffs them and coos.
You're so very, very sweet to know. Sure, why not? Go on and scoot then, honey.
Fine, Bub, you're a hero. Mine.
Ma, I'm fine.
Fine, Bub, you're a hero.
This again.
Of course, right away. Come on, can't the dog play with the others?
I never would disband it.
Don't see many lizard
Driftwood, home of the Black Bull Tavern.
Ma, I'm fine. You're the best.
Disappearances. My career is
Come on.
at stake.
Well, there's a fun face. Byron and I are patching up before we... You stay out of trouble now.
Pamять! Would...
Passionless, The Magister turns to you with a scowl. He already...
What?
The Magister glances at you like you're something he just...
Keep out of it. That's what I want to know. Stuck here with those silent... The new leadership ought to learn to respect its veterans. We're the ones who uphold the rule of law, not white ponces like...
A sly smile creeps across...
Aye, and sooner than you might think, if the rumours are true. Let's just say, there's other places where I'd be a priest. Who asked you? You're not even supposed to be down here.
The Magister glances around the cells.
This isn't the divine order I signed up for.
Lucky find. Lucky find.
right away. I'm watching you, stranger. That's all you have to say. You may as well...
Come on, can't I go and play with the others?
What's this? Damn it, Barwell, you're supposed to be stopping intruders. There's still...
It's Belworth, sir.
I don't care. Keep on alert until this fiend's head is on a spike. What do you want, lizard? You can't just come in here as you please. There's Manchester's missing. I'm trying to conduct a bloody... This isn't the ancient Empire, serpent. Now answer my bloody question. What are you doing here? You can circle the poles twice each for all I care. As long as you don't... He's a deviant named Higba. A grubby little tinkerer with a criminal mind. Hardly. By all accounts, he seemed like just another money-grubbing nobody. He must have caught my Magisters unaware. No matter, he'll face justice either way. If you catch sight of that dog, well, do you know anything?
The Magister snatches the ring from your palm and
This is a conduct award. I presented it.
He shudders and abruptly turns to his subordinate.
Bellwether, get over to the Black Bull Tavern. And you, if I find this is some sort of trick... Bellwether, I need those reports, damn it.
Oh, great, a citizen. Can't you see I'm on a break here?
She narrows her eyes and pins...
You ever seen a void woken up close? I have.
She raises her eyebrows, clearly impressed, despite...
It's always sorcerers. They get into every nook and cranny and...
As if anticipating a negative response.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure life's no picnic for them either. But I've heard...
She nods at you
No can do, chickadee. You're not leaving my sight for a while longer yet.
I've sent Magister Barwin to look into your tale, stranger.
The cook piles a bundle of what appears to be red clothing into the hearth. She turns and eyes you cold.
It seems like someone's been telling tales about me. Foolish. I don't have to explain my actions. Magisters are pigs.
She grabs a large kitchen knife.
As do those who side with them.
Wait. There's something wrong with this.
I've sent Magister Barwin to look into your tale, stranger. You're certain it was her? I won't allow for any doubt. I won't let my reputation be tarnished by... Divine be praised, then. A satisfactory conclusion. Here, your...
He hands you a pouch of gold before absent...
Just sick. Some...
The Meister's back! The Meister's back! She doesn't feel like...
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her...
Damnable red-cloaked baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she...
I swear by the...
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, only...
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. Apparently I had a claw in murdering their darling...
The Meister wrenches the bandage, pulling the fabric tight against her wound.
Never mind that. That I was here the entire...
Meister Siva freezes, her eyes locked on you, her claws mid-swipe.
Why on earth? Not that I was sorry to hear about his death. I doubt my grin helped matters during the interrogation. It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to...
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning...
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how... Fortunately, the Magisters pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. Your talent for following simple instructions fills me with wonder and pride.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers...
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, God-woken.
Ancient rooms, weird contraptions. This place is an Arcanist's dream.
Feel free to look about while I catch my breath. Come speak to me when you wish to proceed. And try not to break anything in the meantime.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, God-woken?
Sarcasm, my girl, is not. No. Becoming the Divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the The Divine was created by the gods to... The Divine cannot use her power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snap... The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be even more...
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
And do not lose anything. These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back out to the Cloisterwood to fetch you more...
Oh, we dwarves had a kingdom, and we...
The dog sniffs the wooden decking, like this.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong. I don't know, but there's something wrong, and it's underneath the floor. Be careful down there, mister.
Careful now, that's a trap. Careful, I've spotted a trap.
This place stinks. But some of these barrels look interesting.
One barrel of fish stands out from the others. It's sealed and marked with a...
Lucky find.
One barrel of fish stands out from the other. Dripping with liquid sauce, this barrel is sealed and marked with a cross. From the barrel you sense nothing stirs in the dank and stinking basement. Inside, you find not fish, but weapons. Powerful weapons. The kind of weapons that...
We shall have justice. We shall see you cast into the void. Seven believe one's pain, and now you believe. Come play with me. Come die. You will suffer. Fame be eternal. You and your damn glories. You will all come shove and shred. I am the push, Sibyl. The push come to shove and shred. You will suffer. Fame. I am the push, Sibyl. I know. I am. Scars, I'll rip. I push, Sabine. Push, shove and shred. I'll yield to none. The seven believed your lies failed, and now you believe theirs. I know our I know. I'll rip. You will suffer. Fade the eternal. You and your damn. You are blemished. Come play. Die. I've come to wipe away the stains, Sabine. Believed your lies, Faze, and now you believe theirs. You are blemished, you are filth. I've come to wipe away the stains. I know your scars. I'll rip apart your scars. Behold, Vayne the Undying, Vayne the Eternal Traitor. I've come to wipe away the stains, Sabine. I've come to wipe away the stains, Sabine. The blood of legions trails you, Benmez. The stench of your past corrupts. I am a master, Benmez, and you always do just as you're told, don't you?
Healer!
Hurts, doesn't it?
Hope that fella makes it. Aye. Ever heard of that place? Fort Joy? They send you there means you ain't never coming. You've been there? Smack in the mid. Ain't never heard of anyone that gave the Reds the slip before. Good on you, lad. Reds got 'em, but can they hold 'em? I mean, you...
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the magisters.
He glances up, recognizes you.
You're still here. Try not to be.
He looks surprised. Might be fake.
What weapons? What basement? Honestly, I've no...
He stops.
Lohar's smuggling weapons to Arks. He hides them in the basement, and I make sure they reach the destination. You don't find Lohar, and when he does, expect trouble. I admire your bravado. I hope it doesn't prove fatal. Probably for the best. And remember, this conversation...
He glances up.
You're still here.
He looks surprised.
What weapons? What basement?
He tries to look shocked, fails, knows it, knows you know it.
Lohar. Lohar's smuggling weapons to Arks. You don't find and when he does, I admire...
He swallows, like he has a lump in his...
You look like the kind of person who's very forgetful, with the right motivation. I have a sum of money in my pocket. It adds up to a very good time in the tavern. Glad to hear it.
There were bad things down there, but you don't smell very good either. Are you a bad thing? That's what a bad thing would say. You smell bad. I think you're a...
Still Nose Joe, report. Did you find anything? Whether the chef or Dallas herself are guilty, my orders are to search this factory. If you see anything suspicious... Still Nose Joe, report. Did you find it? If you see anything...
Still no sign. So, report. Did you find anything? The chef? What tripe? That waif can barely carve a ham. And murder or not, Higba is still a sorcerer. He will be caught. If you see anything... Still no sign. So, report. Did you find anything? Source weapons? Damn me. Report to Magister Julian at the docks, sharpish. I'll stay behind.
Hope that fella makes it out of Driftwood. Red's got 'em, but can they hold 'em? I mean, you...
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the magisters. Then we can get them out.
Please, Alexander, don't bish me.
That's close enough, Reptile. I thought you lizards were all hiding behind your Imperial walls. What are you doing in Driftwood? And much as I'd like to blame your scaled Higba is a sorcerer and must be found. But perhaps there's something to what you say. Damien, take it all. Where is the snake? Magister can't... It's vital that you report anything unusual. He arrived in Driftwood some days ago. As soon as he knew we were onto him, he ran. Now, beyond...
Then we can get them out, and you can get back to work.
Easy. Tell me, have you anything to report?
The Magister's eyes narrow.
It's vital that you report anything unusual. Easy. Tell me, have you any...
The Magister stops, her face
Source weapons? Hey?
She glances over her shoulder, checking that no...
You will find Magister Julian on the docks. Report to him at once. We can't... I will remain here.
Here I still am. Yes? Have you anything to report? The rat bastards. Hid 'em right under our very noses. A marvellous find indeed. But I don't suppose you actually saw Lohar or one of his cronies handle these weapons in person. Nonsense. This smuggling operation must be part of the bigger conspiracy that I suspected. I trust I'll continue to have your unmitting... Speaking of loyalty, here's a little incentive to keep up the good work. Here I still am, and here...
Still no sign. I'll flash the rat. So, report. Did you find anything? Blast! Well, if you do...
The Magister... passionless, unblinking. The dwarf looks you up and down, a scowl of repulsion on his face. He mumbles something about dwarvish decency under his breath and turns away from you.
Still no sign. I'll flush the rat out wherever he's hiding. He won't get another one of my brothers.
Ain't no one been standing together since Lucian died. Ain't been no good. Glad to hear you say it. What can I do for you, lad?
So, report. If you see anything... Still no sign. I'll flash the rat out, wherever he's hiding. He won't get another one of my brothers.
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the magisters. Then we can get them out, and you can get back to work.
The stink of beer almost covers up the stink of the fish.
So, report if you see anything...
Oh, I'm always the sorcerer.
Doesn't make sense. I'm missing something.
No, I'm innocent.
Get her, Dallas. Get that sorcerer.
Who would do this? This is going nowhere.
Leave me alone, Dallas, you nasty woman. I'm going to send you to be cured, sorcerer. You can stay there with the dirty lizards and Joe's mum until you're cured.
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the magisters. Then we can get them out, and get the hell out of here. I'm done.
You best get...
She rolls her eyes.
It won't budge.
Я фиг знает, сколько прошли в городе. Но на этом, пожалуй, на сегодня остановимся. Спасибо за просмотр, всем удачи, всем